Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled WPCA monthly meeting for August 2024. It is now 7:10 in the evening, and I would like to call the meeting to order. Application. First question I have, do I have any adjustments to tonight's agenda? And due to the lateness of one of the requests, I would like to make a motion, Chair, add a motion for the approval of a bonding resolution for the East Trunk Wetlands Crossing application under the item 1 under new business.
Second, Chris.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, keep going. The first order of business is to approve the July 17th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to put it on the table?
Motion.
Take it to a vote. Thank you. Discussion for the July 17th minutes.
The one question I had was on the proposed on item 4C, discuss and propose new fog rates. I voted against it. I don't think Christina voted against that one for the fog rates. Just
Okay, so Chris, you want to take it to a vote? Make a motion to amend the minutes accordingly?
correct.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of amending the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion on the original motion for the minutes? Hearing none, I'd like to take it to a vote to approve the minutes as amended. All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, 4. Okay, thank you. The next item is the first item under old business, which is looks like a presentation for 2179, 2199 Post Road and 29 Fairfield Place. It was an original and story mixed-use development. And the review of the flow monitoring is on the agenda for tonight by the Atlantic Consulting and Engineering. And I think Mark Andre is going to make the presentation. Mark, thank you. I see you now. And the one thing I will say is this project, go ahead, Mark, keep walking. This project was approved on 5/15. And it was for, if I remember, I got it written down here, 4 studio and 36 one-bedroom units and commercial ground floor, which included what was proposed at the time, a minimum of a coffee shop, restaurant, a management office, and retail.
Hi, we're just going through Mark Andre, and the purpose of this review is basically we are exploring a second application for 61 bedroom units. So we submitted the analysis showing that we have enough capacity, and that's basically why I just come back to get to make sure that we're all on the same page for this. And that's pretty much it. The floor is a little bit less than which is going through that was approved. And I don't have much really to say about it.
Okay. So, Mark, if I
Review.
understood you correctly, the original proposal
So
was approved for
The
36.
original proposal, which is going through the town approval now, we are scheduled for a public hearing sometime next month. That proposal has 40 units, as you describe it, with parking garage at the basement and a partial parking garage at the first floor. And we have about roughly 9,000 square foot of commercial space. In that application, We're proposing to have our management office at the ground floor. Yes.
Quiet.
Spaces, a coffee shop and a restaurant that will probably sit about 100 people. And then the building, it's about 4 stories with a activated roof deck. And we have various amenity spaces throughout the building. And then the unit composition is roughly, I believe, 36 one bedroom and 4 studios.
And that is what you want to change to
Yes.
Quiet.
1 bedroom.
So, this application is going through the process with the town. So our legal counsel recommend that we put another application. And this one will be for 60 units, 1 bedroom, and that's going to be under the state statute 830G.
And you said that the flow rate was less
With,
the 60 or?
yeah, it's likely less, yes.
Why? Why?
That's the data we have. So there's, as far as flow, there's no capacity, there's no impact.
John, our side review?
That would have to go to the engineers to look at. I can't say yes or no. I mean, how does the flow go down when you go from 40 units to 60?
Well, because just 1 second, the calculation we sent you, you see the design flow is less than the one with the mixed use.
We'd have to send it to the engineer. I can't. I'm not one. I can't say yes or no.
You have both trucks in front of you or not?
Yeah, I do, but I can't sit here and go, yes, this all jives out. I'm not
Just 1 second.
an engineer. I'm not going to say yes or no. I can't say yes or no.
Anybody else on the commission have any questions? Christine, Ron?
Just 1 second, please.
Sounds like we're not there, Joe.
Okay.
Retail 1.
Just for the record, this is not on the agenda for a vote tonight. This was a review of the lows.
Right.
What I have here on our documents, I have 40. I have 40 on ours. I don't see any. I have 41 bedroom. I'm just trying to go back through what we have. I have 41 bedroom.
Right.
778 retail 1, 796 retail 2, 134 restaurant. Was that your old application that you had?
That's the one going through the town.
Correct, and that's the one we've previously approved.
Correct.
But then where is your data or calculations for, I guess, the
60 units?
60? Yeah, I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to find that.
provided that to, you should have had a copy of it. That was submitted. This is it. This is a copy of it. I submitted to,
No,
this will be that one. That was submitted. It should have been part of your record. Well, I was a little confused why you don't have it.
I think we.
So in this one, we removed,
you took out retail?
yeah, we took everything out. So that's your design for right here.
No, by taking out.
Yeah, you take out
Yeah,
all the
took
rest.
out- Yeah, so you took out the restaurant here, correct? You took out the restaurant and that's how you get your 38,000
Exactly.
gallons per day,
That's right.
which is, you're running restaurant, indoor, outdoor, 4,000 gallons per day.
Yep.
Which is significant. Okay.
There's a little bit of a change from commercial to residential.
Correct. There's no more commercial. In this case, there will be no commercial. Now flow rate is lower.
And generally, we approve a flow rate. correct? Not units or anything. So why, just generally, why would you have to come back here? You're, in my mind, aren't you approved for 49,000 gallons per day?
So we just want to establish a legal, record for, I'm gonna say it lightly, okay? Don't kill the messenger. Right now, when I came before you guys, we were in the process of buying a property. Now we own it. I don't want to be holds to this, but the project that we want is the project that's really going through the town right now. Okay, and our legal counsel, we want to be able to have more options. So we did the analysis looking at residential owners. So that's the reason we came back, even though we know the design flow is less, but we want to make sure that it's, you guys know about it. We want to have the record, basically. So, you know,
Substitute
I'd
project,
say, well, I'm like a waste of
So
time.
would it bring the flow? Would we need more flow? Would they need more flow monitoring if it was residential
We don't,
opposed to their commercial change? So
this is a question for everyone. I don't think, we're not approving residential, commercial, anything. We're approving flow,
well,
so.
he's already submitted permits and
Correct.
everything for code enforcement and everything. But with this commission, we just felt that presented to you
substitute project,
a change in the flow from commercial to residential.
I don't have any further questions. It's, I just look at it, we approve something that's higher. Do we have, is there any voting on this, Joe?
yeah, I'd like to hear a motion. I mean, you are correct, Chris. We approve the flow. If the substitute project, we typically don't care about the substitute project simply because zoning always changes them anyway. So
Right.
you're right. If there's a proof of the flow, he doesn't really need to come back to us. What we can do is put a motion on the table to allow the office to make the final judgment, so he doesn't have to come back to the commission again. As long as he's under the original flow that we approved, he's got that approval for 2 years. And that was done in May of this year, so he's got plenty of time. And all those rules would apply to him. Okay? So we could simply make a motion to have him approved by the office, not necessarily the commission, as long as it's underneath the original flow,
Okay, so,
that was approved. We've done that in the past.
yeah, so I would make a motion to leave it up to the office, to determine, approval as long as it's under 49,129 gallons per day, which we approved in May.
Make sense?
Second.
Okay, so do we have any,
Okay, so,
because I would like to make a modification to that motion to also include all of the conditions that were in effect as approval for the May 15th would remain in effect and add it to this motion. So we're still in the discussion. Nobody seconded your motion, so
Call from Rob.
okay, so do I have to make a new motion, Joe, or?
we're just having a discussion. So I haven't called the question yet. So if you wouldn't mind, just restate your motion with that condition, and then I will call for a second on your motion.
Okay.
Once it did make it clear
To leave it up to the office to determine, the application for, hang on, what's the application? Let's see, it is 2179, 2199 Post Road and 29 Fairfield Place. As long as the gallons per day are under the original approval with
once it did make it clear
of the original approval.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Like,
I think we've got a unanimous. I don't see Have to call the others.
Thank you. Sorry
Okay.
for the confusion.
Mark, thank you. You do not have to come back to us. Just deal with Mr. Clancy. And as
Yes.
long as you stay within the original parameters, you're fine.
Yeah, Mr. Clancy did make it clear to us. We just want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. We're all
No
on the same
problem.
page.
Better
Appreciate that.
communication.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Moving on to second item under old business, 430 through 452 Stilson Road. It's again a review of flow monitoring data by Flow Assessments. And I think Paul Richter is on the line. Is going to walk us through.
Jason Edwards with J. Edwards Associates. I'm
Jason, sorry.
no problem. I'm here representing Paul and in this project. Excuse me. I'm with J. Edwards Associates, Engineers and Surveyors. We're located at 227 Stepney Road in Easton. The proposed development is 18 new homes, or units, townhome units, containing a total of 54 bedrooms. Those will replace, there's currently two single-family homes on the property. One of those is to be demolished, one is to remain. So you'd end up with a total post-construction count would be 57 bedrooms with 19 single-family homes. We did provide an analysis. I believe Mr. Clancy's got that, but we computed additional usage of 5,505 gallons per day for that, the total site, including the existing house and the new homes. We did do flow monitoring as directed by staff, I believe. That was handled by Mr. Richter and myself, but I believe that was the case. And we got peak flows at the two locations on Judge Street. We took the higher of the two flows, the highest peak flow two sites that we had, and that was 189,750 gallons per day. When we then analyzed the 8-inch pipe in the road, we came up with a capacity of 582,480 gallons per day. So with the new development at the 5,000 gallon computed rate, we come up with 195,255 gallons, which is approximately 32% of the capacity of the pipe. So the pipe is considerably, has considerable capacity to accommodate this project. That's really the extent of it. I have plans if you'd like to see them, or I have additional flow results if you want to go through anything further, or I can just answer questions. Thanks.
Okay, I open it to our commissioners. Questions? Jason?
Did our engineers look at this?
Not yet. We didn't get approval to utilize them until the end of July, so I'll have to send this to them.
And or just general question, are we using our engineers to look at all this flow data in the future?
Application, flow data, everything.
Okay. And we had our engineer, we didn't get our engineer's approval until July.
We have not gotten, we didn't get approval to utilize them till July, so this would have to go to them to be vetted.
And since we're gonna be using our engineers to vet everything, should we let them look at this
Absolutely.
first?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Question, Christine, any questions?
No.
Ron?
No, I'm good.
Okay, on the agenda, this is simply a request for review of flow monitoring. Jason, when are you guys planning on going to TP&Z? You know?
As soon as we possibly could. I don't know if we have a date yet, but Steve Shapiro, if you're on and know the date, he's one of the partners in this too, my clients. But I don't know if he's able to get on. I don't know, when is the next meeting for WPCA?
September 18th.
So, and does planning and zoning in Fairfield require that we get WPCA approval before they'll accept our application? Is that
Typically, they would like us to approve it first before they start their process. That's why I
Yeah.
asked.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, if you got hearing review, then that's what you need to do. I can't
Yep.
argue with that. So,
Okay, so what I would recommend, if I can get a motion to get this on the agenda for as a date certain for September 18th for a vote on approval after we've had our consultants view the numbers. Can I have that motion?
They're just before, we'll be able to review it by then.
I would think a month is good, yeah. I'll get it to him tomorrow, so.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in discussion? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Jason.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, the next project on the list is 467 Tungus Hill Road. It's a request by Jim Peters Engineering for a permanent extension. We approved this one back in, I think it was June 2022, right, Jim?
Correct, June 2022, yes.
And if I remember, this was an interesting one. You had a small piece of property with a proposal for a lot of units.
Yes,
That's what I'm thinking.
right, that is the exact, yes, that is correct. We had proposed back then, well, for the flow, for full flow purposes, and I guess we ought to keep it simple, just like the
Right.
first application for flows. We're not increasing the floor by no means, the flow by no means. Back in 22, we had requested for 69 multi-bedroom units,
Right.
which basically was the highest flow for an apartment unit back in 22. It translates to today's flow to a two-person to a two-bedroom 2.61 person per unit flow, basically. So that's what we had taken back in 22, 2.61 people per unit. It's still 2.61 because we're not proposing anything over 69. I'm sorry, anything over two bedroom. So the flows are remaining the same. Now we had asked for 69 units. It's not going to be that many. It's around the 50, and they're not all going to be two bedrooms, but just to be conservative, we account for 50 two-bedroom units. We're still way under the original flow that was approved in 2022. So with that said, we're looking for an extension just to get our application into P&Z in the next month or so.
Okay, turn it over to the commissioners. Any questions for Jim?
I have a question for John. On Tungus Road here, has anything else been connected or any major items have been connected to this trunk line or sewer line since?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Chris, I can confirm that our commission hasn't approved anything along that line since June 2022. I went
Thank you.
back and verified.
No further questions?
Any questions, Chris, Ron?
No questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on the table, please?
Yeah, I have a motion. Would this be an extension for 467 Tungus Hill Road? With all the conditions that were previously approved back in June 15th, 2022.
Second?
Okay, a discussion. I just have, again, a request for a modification. I'd like to put in the extension date of June 2026. That would be 2 years from the June when it would have expired,
Okay.
as far as the thing. So I'd like to amend because Chris's motion had a second, I'd like to amend the emotion. I'd like to amend it to add June 2026 as the expiration date for this approval. And I'm looking for a second on my motion.
Second. I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, now back to Chris's original. Any other further discussion? All conditions are being the same with the extension to June 2026. Are we okay with that?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Jim, we'll see you in June 2026.
Hopefully not.
I'm sorry.
Hopefully sooner. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do a lot of work. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. The next item under old business would be a discussion on the smart covers which were installed since our last meeting. John, are you going to take the lead on this discussion?
Yep, Joe, you missed one though.
I missed one? Sorry.
Yeah.
Item 4?
Jester.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Secondary
John.
digester.
The secondary cleaning of the storage tank.
Yes, very good.
Thanks, Joe.
I refuse to call it a digester.
We just tied in the primary digester to the temporary tanks yesterday. So we are running the operation out of the temporary. The company SpectraServe will be bringing in their dewatering equipment the end of next week. And they plan on starting the day after Labor Day. They're still on schedule to be done by the end of November with everything being in repair, but we'll see. So far, so good.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the commissioners?
And have we been on top of this, with the neighbors and everyone? No further questions?
Do I have any comments? I see there are people both on the phone and in the room there. Any comments from the general public? Our first select person who's on the phone, I see. Okay, thank you, John.
Yep.
The next item, which I tried to rush, are the smart covers. Sanitary measurements we put in place this past month.
Yep, smart covers were installed the week of July 21st. We had formal training on it on August 8th. We provided more data and we started to get flow data shortly after that. It's still a little too early to really glean anything from it, but it's something that I've been looking at every day, trying to get a handle on it. And hopefully by next month, I'll have some good numbers to report and good data.
Questions for John?
Happy so far?
Commissioners?
Very happy, very happy. It's consuming a lot of my time because there's a lot with it, and it'll be a great tool.
That's very accurate.
Yeah.
That's good.
Comments from the public? Any? I see none. Thank you, John. And the sixth item under old business is the Durrell Pump Station status. Now, is John Rosilio? I cannot make out the people in the room. I thought John was going to do an update.
I'm here,
Oh.
Joe.
I'm sorry, I see you there now, John. I was looking the wrong way. Thank you, John.
So, as I said at the last meeting, we were engaging the town attorney to investigate the prospect of a easement at the location of the Durrell Pump Station. And currently, we had John Bodie's crew go out and do an investigation of the condition of the pump station. The estimates that we had of rehabbing or replacing that pump station of $300,000 to $400,000 were revised by John Bodie to indicate a simple replacement of a number of pumps and some electrical work that he felt were adequate at this point to have that pump station work reliably. And John, you could talk about what the value of that was.
It's under $10,000. I wanted to see what pumps were in there, if they were available. I contacted a company, the only distributor in the Northeast in New Jersey. They're readily available. They're $3,600 a piece, and they're willing to give us a 10 to 15% discount without even asking. Our electrician went over there, did a few things. We already replaced two little components, and we get a little alarm monitor there, and I think we're good to go. And down the road, we can just work on stuff as needed.
So I will ask that this be an agenda item at the next WPCA commission meeting, when I will have the formal documents from our town attorney on the easement. If you need anything else on this rehab be documented, we can do that for you. You'll get a package at the next commission meeting, and we'll ask you to vote to accept this as part of your system. This is the last one-off item like this in the whole town, and it's just prudent to be under your care, custody, and control as you are receiving all of the user fees and the like.
Okay,
So that's just informational, Joe.
thank you, John. And anything else, John?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to ask it from the commission if I can get a motion to put the approval for the Durrell Pump Station to be taken over by the WPCF on next month's agenda, date certain. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Do I have a second? Thank you. All in any other further discussion on this item? Seeing none, any comments from the public? Seeing none. All in favor? For this motion to go on the agenda for next month, say aye. Aye. Unanimous. Thank you, John. Thank you both Johns, actually. Thank you all three Johns that are sitting in. Can't go wrong. Okay. I have, and our first selectman is back. Good. I have a new business, under new business, I have the item that we added, which was a motion for the approval of the bond resolution for the East Frontline Wetlands Crossing appropriation. And I think we have David, yes, right? David in the room?
Yep, David's here.
Thank you, David. Can you walk us through this, please?
Good evening. So thank you for taking this item up, and I do have some wording for the actual motion for the vote. And I emailed it. If Joe, if you want to read it, or somebody here, I can put this in front of them to read through it. But it's the main purpose for this. We've been working on this over the past week or so. And just got the final resolution tonight as we're trying to race to the boards to get this approved. For the WPCA, this is more of a technical cleanup. There's no additional dollars that are being asked for. I know we brought this up at the last meeting. This is about basically merging two prior bond spending authorizations, and actually that some of the dollars have already been bonded out, and a prior MOU now be merged into really one singular project. So it's no longer an East Trunk piece with a wetlands piece that essentially are one project, but we're going to be able to collapse this into one. And the project came in significantly higher in cost. So the net is that we're moving this to a $30,750,000 project, of which 3.75 million will be grant funded, 3 million and 750,000, which leaves $27 million to be bonded, of which for the bonding allocation, half is the WPCA and half of it's the town, so $13.5 million each. And if you walk through the two prior approvals and MOU documents, along with the grant dollars, the original amount that the WPCA was going to take from a bonding was 13.5. So it remains the same for the WPCA. But we are heading to the Board of Selectmen and then the Board of, on the 28th, the Board of Finance on the 3rd, and then the RTM a few weeks later for their committees. And then later in the month, the 4th Monday of the month, will be the RTM's approval. At which time we will then be able to fully award the bid and get the MOU documents in place. And to that point also, with the bid was actually going to expire mid-September, extended a little bit. But from a timeline perspective, coming to the WPCA tonight to be able to go to all those other boards and have all these pieces line up to be able to award it is very important. So again, I thank on the taking this up this evening. And we were asking for additional dollars. We might have then just asked for a special, but to try to pull everyone together when really the net effect is it's a technical. There are, I believe, hard copies were brought and some the packet was emailed. And then from a resolution standpoint, you know, the way that just from a voting standpoint, to approve a resolution amending and restating the East Trunk Wetlands Crossing Project and the East Trunk Replacement Project resolutions to increase the total appropriation by $13,500,000 to $30,750,000. The bond authorization by $13,500,000 to $27 million, and to amend and restate the project description. Further, to approve a supplemental resolution for the updated project. Additionally, to restate and approve a memorandum of understanding, MOU, and approval for the WPCA chair to enter into the MOU between the WPCA and so we would need someone to make, I just read it, but somebody to make that motion second, and then it would be as per the attached backup documents.
Okay, and David, I think you just made the motion. You are a member of the commission. I would second that motion.
Who's the ex?
So I don't.
I will make the motion.
Thank you, Christine. And I will second the motion and open it up for discussion between the commissioners.
Discussion for me.
None here.
Ron?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, and I will just say, I did get the document when I heard that we had to add the agenda item. I read through it at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and it's everything David said, and it's everything we had agreed to at our last meeting as far as the town picking up that 13 million plus and be responsible for it. It's sort of a splitting of the project. So everything is very consistent with what we were talking about last meeting. Any comment from the public before I take the vote? Okay, we have a motion on the table with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? I think we got everybody on favor. Okay. Passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, David. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Joe.
And
Thanks,
that's
everyone.
John.
Check. Good luck.
And thank you, Mr. First Selectman Gerber.
Everyone. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Take care, Mark.
Okay. Right along. John, Bodie, sewer bypasses are next.
None,
What?
none,
Amazing.
We didn't get much rain there.
an inch and a half.
Oh, we thought there was gonna be
We
one.
dodged.
How did Trumbull, how did Bridgeport?
Bridgeport was about the same.
Even Trumbull going into Bridgeport wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad. Had we got 10 inches, we wouldn't be here. We'd be underwater.
Would be, yeah.
Thank God.
I don't think the hardening would have handled that.
Yeah,
I would have.
Okay.
Luckily, it was low tide at 4 o'clock too. You know, it was low, the tides were good.
Any other items that anybody would like to bring up?
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, buddy.
Motion to adjourn?
Can I get a motion to adjourn in a second?
Yeah, in a second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, and I thank you. And John Bodie, thank you. We got started.
Thanks,
a little
Joe.
Slowly.
Thanks,
We'll pick up
Joe.
our pace.
Take care. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Hope you feel better.